Next up we have is WoD time walking. Okay, let's just move on. Mina! It's me. Today we're going to be doing a BlizzCon recap, specifically focusing on World of Warcraft and looking at all of the major news points without you having to go and read around 5 million different essays on the internet. So we're focusing on WoW and thankfully not that mess that was the Diablo announcement, but maybe for another time. Now, obviously, each of these points is going to have a lot more information deep down underneath, but I'll be focusing primarily on the overall picture so that you can get a very, very basic idea of what to expect going forward. If that sounds like something you're interested, please feel free to subscribe and leave a comment down below, like, etc. Helps a lot. As I said, focusing on the important things. We are getting a roller coaster, for example, in the Darkmoon Fair. I've been waiting forever for a roller coaster at the Darkmoon Fair. The biggest highlight that I think from BlizzCon has been the classic WoW announcement, and that is going to be 2019 as a release date in summer. We know that officially that is going to be the time frame. I guess maybe things can change, but yeah, 2019 is when you can expect it. They are going to be using some kind of sharding, at least at launch. We don't know exactly for how long or until when. It's looking likely that we'll be getting some kind of sharding there just to smooth out that release date. One thing that they've tried to make an emphasis and focus on is that they want to get that classic, authentic Blizzard quality feel for the launch, and it's going to probably have as few changes as possible. Hashtag no changes, so we'll see just how far they go with there. But speaking of changes, there is going to be tradable loot in Classic for the time being, so make sure you get in on that discussion if you have a strong opinion about that. Tradable loot, basically what that means is that when you receive an item from a boss, you are able to trade it or sell it to your friend for a duration of about 2 hours. That never was the case in Classic. You could never do that. If you got an item, you got it, and that was it. Why they're doing that, I'm not sure. Perhaps to avoid tickets or something like that, but that seems to be a legitimate change that they're making to the game. But that's all kind of the major things that I've seen from Classic. More news to come in the future, of course, closer to the release date. And also they'll be working off of 1.12. The new allied races, of course, is probably some of the biggest hype that you can get from the majority of the community, because you guys love your cosmetics and stuff like that, and giving Blizzard that allied race payment. Zandalari Paladins, much requested, finally being implemented into the game. Very cool, to be honest, something I definitely will be trying out. And of course, Kulturan Shaman, Druid, but no Paladin for the Kultarans. Okay, well, there you go. That's allied race news. On top of that cosmetic-oriented kind of stuff, we have heritage armor for Tauren and Gnomes, which I believe is coming in 8.2 with the Rise of Nazjatar, and that's going to be featuring the Rise of Azshara. Rise of Nazjatar? Did I call it Nazjatar? Rise of Azshara in Nazjatar, and there's going to be an underwater raid, and there's a giant mega dungeon like Karazhan in there as well, so yeah, it's something to look forward to there. Mechagon. But just before that, we'll be getting 8.1 on December 11th, which is roughly about a month from today. And that's going to be the Tides of Vengeance patch that is going to push forward the Battle for Azeroth story with Sylvanas, Sorfang, and the alliance equivalents of who's even there? Oh, Malfurion and Tyrande. I guess they look pretty cool in the cinematic. Make sure you check that out. Now, on top of that, we'll be getting some kind of world reflective quest with regards to decision making, so getting the players some player agency, as they put it. What you do in game will have some kind of an effect on the story. So it seems like there's going to be something with Sylvanas and Sorfang. I don't know the details, no spoilers and stuff like that. But basically something that you do in game is going to impact, and you will have the option to choose between two outcomes. So it's really up to you what you choose to do as a player. That's something very interesting, and I'm kind of really excited for that, because that's going to have a lot of implications on the greater story going forward, and we could see more of that kind of stuff in the future. 8.2 is also going to have the new models for Worgen and Goblins. Finally, since Cataclysm, we've been waiting for these updated versions. The Worgen, of course, kind of look like droopy old vegetables, but getting a little bit more of a cartoony remake over that. All three of the Worgen players in the player base should be excited about that. Well done. I personally love my Goblin Shaman. New portal rooms in Orgrimmar and Stormwind, so it means that if you're going to be doing all of your weekly transmog runs, you're going to have, I guess, an easier time. quality of life change there. Nice. Warsong and Irathi Basin revamp. We don't really know what that means. I'm going to assume that geographically, the objectives and all that kind of stuff isn't going to change, but it's just going to be more of a texture model update sort of thing. Some kind of aesthetic update more so than gameplay. If you enjoyed this discussion, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, like down below. And until next time, my name has been Mira.